Hi, this is Eric Mailman. In this video, I'm going to show you some techniques in Python for analyzing the words in a sentence. This is both going to give you an example of some things you haven't done before and also give you some hints on how to proceed with some of your assignments in this section. I started by doing some of the things I've done in the past. I've laid out a heading at the top that says what I'm going to do, and I've defined a main function to hold my code and run that main function as part of as the only thing really to be done in executing the program. So if we're going to analyze words in a sentence, then we need a sentence. And here's a sentence. It's actually a saying from the musical My Fair Lady, and it's the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. So it's a sentence because it's text, it's enclosed in quotes, and it has spaces between the words. Let me correct this up here to make PyCharm happy. Now that I have a sentence, I need to break it up into words. So I'll put a comment here that says break sentence into words. And that turns out to be very, very easy. We're going to create a thing called words, and we're going to take the saying and apply to it a split function. And PyCharm already guessed that's what we're trying to do. And by default, what split will do is it will break up a string based on spaces. So that turns out to be pretty much all we need to do anyway, so that's fine. Let's see what we've got here. Let's print out words so we can see what actually it got broken into. Let's clean this up, and our code now should be clean. How do we know our code is clean? We have a green check mark up here in the corner. No problems found. That's always a good goal, to make sure that your program is clean, and therefore when things go wrong you'll know it immediately because a minute ago it was clean and now it's not. So I really like to keep track of the green check mark up there. So let's run this program for the first time and see what words is equal to. So what we have here is square brackets. That means it's a list. And in that element, there are these strings. And notice that none of the strings have any spaces in them. That's because that was the separator character for the split. And notice also we have, looks like about 9 words in there. Well, we can find out easily, of course, how many words are in there by just using a print statement. And we can say, I want to know the length of words, and then maybe we'll be friendly and add to it, words were found. Now when we execute this again, it says that 9 words were found. So now that we have words, which is a list, we can use the technique we've used before to loop through that list by saying something, for instance, like for word in words. What do we want to do? Well, we're just going to print out the word. And it would have been a good idea to put a comment over here about what we're doing, which is print each word in a separate line. So now that we've done that, we can see over here, here's our list. It's a list of strings, and we've navigated through the list, starting at the beginning and going to the end, and printed each one on a separate line. So we now have the ability to analyze that list however we want. And that's what we'll do next. So the object here is to count the number of times the appears on the list. If we're going to do that, we know we have to scan the list, but we also know that we need a variable to keep track of how many times the appeared there. And a good way of initializing that variable is to set it equal to 0, because it's possible that the never appears on a list. So now we can go again for word in words. We know what that's going to do because we've already done it. We now, oh, I forgot something. We have a choice when we count the number of times the appears. It can either be case sensitive or case insensitive. We're going to say we want to be case insensitive, so that it doesn't matter if the appears is an uppercase or lowercase. So what we're trying to do is find out if this word that we've defined over here in the loop, if this word equals the word the. Well, clearly that's an if statement. That's our selection. And to word, we can apply, not split, we've done that already, but we can apply lower. And lower says whatever that word is, change it to be all lowercase. Now in an if statement, the important thing for testing equality is we remember it's two equal signs. So two equal signs is a test, and we want to test if that's equivalent to the string THE in lowercase. If it is, then we're going to up the count by 1. So whatever it was before, increase it by 1. And notice we've got we've got several indentations. We have an indentation for the main, we have an indentation for the for, and now we have another indentation for the count statement. And that's about all we have to do. When we get done, we want to print a nice friendly message. Found the word the in the sentence. How many times? Well, the value of count times. And that's about it. So the purpose of this loop is to count the occurrences of the string the. Notice that since I want the word the in double quotes here, it's okay to have my string defined with single quotes. I'd have to turn around the other way if I wanted the here to be in single quotes, then I'd have to surround the whole string in double quotes. Okay, so let's see what happens when we run this. It says the word found the word the in the sentence 2 times, and if we go back and look in the sentence, indeed here it is with an uppercase T, and here it is in a lowercase t. If indeed we put in a word that wasn't in the sentence, it would have come back and said that it found it 0 times in the sentence. So we can look for the word they in the sentence, and it was found 0 times. If you wanted to be fancy about it, you could say it was found no times or not found in the sentence, but that still makes the point. So here's an example of taking a sentence, which is nothing other than a string with spaces in it, splitting it up, seeing what we have in the split. The split, as we see here, is a list. That's what it's split into. The list has as many elements in it as words in the sentence. And then we went through the list again, and we did a test inside of the list to test if the word that you have now found in the list is equal to they, go put it back to the, then increase your count by 1, and when you get done, print out what that count is. And that's about it. So I hope you found this interesting and useful, and I promise it will help you out in the exercise in this module. Take care. Bye.